feeling about those baby Lakers?
Fine. I'm feeling fine about them. By the way, Stephen A. Nostradamus, it doesn't exactly take a genius to look into a crystal ball and see that the Lakers were going to get slaughtered at Oracle, second of back-to-back. Well, of course, everyone knew they were going to lose that game big. Of course they did. You blame it because they're playing them against. You didn't say they were going to get slaughtered. I know that. You said it. Who needed to say it? Of course, it's obvious. Go ahead. I needed to tell you they were going to listen. Second of back-to-back on the road in the NBA is the biggest lock in sports betting. Like every professional gambler knows it. If a team is playing the second of back-to-back on the road, they're like 70-something% likely to lose. And that's got to be like more than a 10-point difference in terms of how efficiently the team usually scores and how many points they allow. I would take off at least 10 points from a score going in, knowing the team's playing the second of back-to-back. But it's not just that on the road. It's that Luke Walton's returning home to Oracle. Like, that's a big emotional deal. It's that the Lakers waxed them at Staples early in the season. You know the Warriors are looking for revenge. It's that the Warriors are either the best or second best team in basketball. We all know that in spite of the Clippers' record. They're a bomb squad. Of course they're just a better team than the Lakers. It's that a guy like Nick Young, who steals his teammates' pass, travels, and then gets credit for the game winner the next night on the second of back-to-back on the road. That dude ain't showing. None of these guys showed up for that game. But that's the league. Second of back-to-back on the road, you are going to lose, usually big. And if you're playing the best team in basketball, arguably, and you wax them and embarrass them by 20 early in the season, and you have your coaches, their former assistant coaches, like everyone's up for the game, yeah, no kidding they're going to get slaughtered. The baby Lakers are going to be fine this season. They're going to win about as much as they lose.
Well, first of all, I want the audience out there, America out there, we really appreciate Spot Kellerman giving us that breakdown. So logical, so unemotional, so pragmatic. It's just beautiful to hear you articulate your thoughts on basketball in such pragmatic fashion. I'm so touched by it. I really am. Here's the reality, Max Kellerman. It's not about them getting slaughtered in terms of losing to a superior team or whatever. What did I say to you about the Lakers in terms of why I'm not sold on them just yet? Let's pump the brakes and think about this. Max Kellerman, forget the fact that they lost about 40 points. Forget the fact that Kevin Durant and those guys looked absolutely something. Kevin Durant, we'll talk about them a little bit later. He looks sensational. I mean, averaging 27 points on 57% shooting on this season. This is the kind of stuff that I was complaining about when he decided to go to Golden State. The dude ain't even shooting 17 times a game, and he's averaging 27. This is just ridiculous. But we'll talk about him a little bit later. Here's what I want you to pay attention to. Forget the fact that the Lakers lost by 40 and all of that stuff. Dissect why. Don't think about the back-to-backs or anything like that.
You want an answer, or is that a rhetorical question?
It is a rhetorical question. You've spoken enough. Listen, you got Kevin Durant, you got Steph Curry, you got Klay Thompson, all of whom shot better than 60% from the field, going up against a Lakers team that came into the game ranked 28th defensively. This is my issue with them. I'm saying to you, I'm a big fan of Luke Walton. I ain't worried about him. He's the right man for the job. He'll be just fine. I know they've got young talent on the come up. But when you are young and learning how to play and learning how to win, but you don't play defense, that's a bad sign. Because defense is about effort and it's about coaching. And you know, and to some degree, you know, it's about knowing how to communicate on the floor together. You have to be able to stop people. This Lakers team, if they play defense, they would automatically be a playoff team. Because I think Luke Walton would get them flowing offensively. But when you are ranked 28th defensively, you have limitations. That's my issue with the Los Angeles Lakers. The Warriors aside and all of that other stuff. It's just that defensively, Max, I got huge questions about them.
Of course they're not a good defensive team, and first of all, they don't have a lot of good defensive players. And defense is much more than just effort. It's also knowledge and communication and some degree natural ability, not to the extent maybe offense is, but that also plays into it. The problem with evaluating these Lakers defensively on the second of back-to-back on the road in an emotionally charged atmosphere against the Warriors is the only way to defend against the Warriors is loud and constant communication. Because they have, and Luke Walton was a part of this culture, and he's bringing it to the Lakers now, which is one of the reasons they're successful. They have superstars willing to set off-ball screens. They have unselfish play everywhere. It's one of the reasons that Kevin Durant wanted to go there. He wanted to play with guys like that who are willing to sacrifice in that way. They really have, when they're going well, the Warriors do, an unstoppable offense. There is no stopping that offense. But if you want to stop, if you want to even try to stop it, you have to be energized and you have to communicate more than anything else. And the Lakers just seemed like they didn't want it. They didn't care. They knew they were going to lose. They weren't communicating, and they nailed it in last night. So they lost. They almost gave up 150 points in a basketball game. But that's going to happen to other teams, too. You know, the Warriors, just watch what the Warriors do to the teams playing the second of back-to-back at Oracle.
Listen, I'm on the record, and we'll talk about this later on in terms of how the Warriors have contaminated this season. But let's be clear, 150 damn points? I mean, it's Thanksgiving, so I'm really trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice to everybody but Cowboys fans. I'm not going to be nice to them ever. Anybody but Cowboys fans, anybody but them, I'll try to be nice. But 100, I mean, damn near 150 points? Come on now. I mean, I don't care how bad you play. I don't care that you get blown out. You're not going to see many teams giving up 150 points in 48 minutes of a regulation game, of a regular season game. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
I'll say something else about the Lakers. Let me say something else about the Lakers, because when you play at a faster pace, I agree with you about their offense, about their defense, and the same thing with D'Antoni teams. They just don't care about defense. But the thing to look at is not simply, I'm not defending the Lakers' defensive performance last night. I'm just saying generally. The thing to look at is not simply the number of points you allow. Because in a faster-paced game with more possessions, there will be more points. There will tend to be. The question is your defensive efficiency. And I believe, or I predict, that by the end of this season, the Lakers' defensive efficiency will look a lot better than the actual number of points allowed, because Luke Walton's going to have them playing at a fast pace.
Oh, I'm so touched, Max. You really stepped out on a limb. Hold on, you really stepped out on a limb there. 28th ranked defense in the NBA. By the way, just gave up 149 points. And you're sitting here talking about,
they will improve defensively.
They're going to look better. Really? That's where you're going? I mean, that's really stepping out, Max. That's really stepping out. That's really stepping out. They're going to look better. Can they look much worse? Can they look much worse defensively?
Am I talking to the hot take expert who predicted boldly yesterday that the Warriors would beat the Lakers big at home, second of back-to-back on the road to the Lakers? Am I talking to that guy?
Actually,
let me get my oven mitts ready for that hot take.
If you don't mind, I would appreciate it if you call me by my real name. It's not Nostradamus. It's Stephen Naismith. Stephen Naismith. That works better. I like that. I like that. It's not Nostradamus. It's Stephen Naismith. Okay, that's all right. I'm just saying, let's get it right. Let's get it right.
All right. So the Lakers will get the Warriors again Friday for the rubber match at Staples. We'll see if the home cooking helps them out. And now, what, Stephen A? Yes,
Molly, by the way,
yes.
Stephen Naismith only applies to the regular season and the playoffs. Don't get me into my finals predictions. They've been awful because I get emotional come to NBA finals. I get emotional. That doesn't count.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Wait, I just want to get this straight. So you're like that dude who you're Clayton Kershaw. You're really good until the people need you the most, and then you choke. What's up with that?
They don't need me the most during the finals. No, it's not during the finals.
I always figured you'd be a finals performer. No. Damn.
I'm about where I want to be. I'm about where I want to be at the finals. I'm about my social life.
Don't worry, everybody.
He's a Peyton Manning, Max. He just does the regular season. No humble pie on this show. All right, we've covered one of today's 3 NFL games. Coming up, we'll break down the others. No Andrew Luck for Ben Roethlisberger to outduel. So is this a must-win for the black and yellow? Stephen A. Steelers will tell you that next. And just 3 weeks ago, the Lions got the best of Sam Bradford as the Vikings won in overtime. Will the Vikes get revenge?